Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. We have just finished watching, one of, if not the best performances from Tottenham Hotspur for a long time. Tottenham Hotspur 4, Newcastle United 1. I've shared the wonderful afternoon experience with Henry Wright, and now we're going to get a little bit of a fan cam from him, a breakdown. Henry, let's just start with the team selection, mate. Some interesting decisions. Richarlison comes in, Lo Celso comes out, Sonny being put on the left, Decky being brought into the centre, Brennan Johnson moved over to the right-hand side. What was your take on Ange Postecoglou's initial setup today?
Initial setup, I was very happy with the lineup. I just thought, a little bit me thought a bit hard done by for Gio, but I was happy to see Richarlison through the middle. Everyone was a bit like, is Son going to perform being out on the left because he hasn't played there for a little while now? Johnson, I think he's best on the right. Kulu's best position, I think, is in the number 10. It'll be interesting to see what he plays when Maddison comes back. But I thought overall the lineup today was pretty bang on. I don't really think you can have too many complaints about that. And that's probably the strongest lineup we've got out of the players fit, other than obviously Gio Lo Celso, like I just said. But yeah, I was happy with the lineup, mate. I thought he got it pretty much bang on.
Yeah, myself included, mate. I think that over the last couple of games, there's been some exposure of opportunities for certain players that have come in and have done so well in Decky playing in the middle. I just find that there's options now, and for me it restructures maybe transfer plans in January around where the priorities are. But let's talk a little bit about the way we got our goals. I think I was speaking to you about this on your fan cam just a second ago. Breaking down the byline, getting out the ball out wide, and finding its way to cut back has been a part of Celtic's success for the last 3 years under Ange, or 2.5 years under Ange Ball. We haven't seen too much of it under Tottenham, but we did it today for not just, I think it was 2 of the goals, 3 of the goals, but there was maybe 3 or 4 other chances that were nearly goals, if you like. Is that a tactical thing? Is that something that Ange has been driving at since the West Ham game? What was the major difference for you around how we created so much openings today versus why we couldn't do the same thing against West Ham and Aston Villa?
One thing that I think that we need to look at is obviously Ange played at the fullback. I mean, you said it bang on in my fan cam. The fullbacks are so high up, right? So immediately we're overloading Newcastle's midfield of Gomares, the young 17-year-old lad, and Bruno G. So effectively we're playing a 3 midfield with 2 extra midfielders because our fullbacks are that high up in Porro and Udogie. And we just stretch their defense. I mean, we stretch the pitch. At one point, there's a picture on Twitter. We have the 2 defenders and everyone else is kind of like a V. It's kind of like that, where you've got Sarr and then everyone else. We can just completely overrun their midfield and we stretch their defense. Johnson running down the right, Son running down the left. Richarlison was just a complete and up, he's a tough player to play against. But the major difference for me was Sarr. If Højbjerg is in that midfield, you don't get the energy levels of that from Højbjerg or Skip. Sarr, Bissouma, and Kulusevski today all were extremely good. Very, very, very good performances from every single one. Sarr, the amount of recoveries he did. I mean, you were calling him Daddy Sarr at one point on the watch along. Bissouma dropping the shoulder, getting out of, tough positions. Kulu today has basically cemented that the number 10 is his best position. We've been saying I know he didn't get a goal contribution today, but we've been saying for so long, get him off that right. He's becoming a one-dimensional player. Now he's in the 10. He's creating. He runs like a pit bull. The front 3 just tormented Livramento and Trippier. Son had him on absolute toast. Yep. As I said to you in the watch-along, Trippier is going to wake up with Son at the bottom of his bed today. Johnson, Livramento, at one point in the second half, he knocked it round him and sprinted past. That's what we want to see from Johnson. We've never seen that before. It's like
why is that, Henry? Is that because...
I think it's just a confidence. I think Ange has got in his ear and said, look, we've signed you for 47.5 million quid. That right wing spot is yours. Go and prove why we've signed you. And it's like from minute
Was it
one.
playing on the right hand side though? Have we
Yeah,
been putting a square peg in a round hole by playing him on the left hand side for the last 2 months?
I feel that's exactly what it is. You see him
Okay.
on the right hand side today.
He's
He
not
looked like a player
10 times the
happy.
player. 10 times the player, right?
He looked happy. He looked confident. You know, he's knocking it round players, sprinting down the byline. You know, he's not puffing out of his backside after 30 minutes. He's obviously given up the vapes or whatever he's been doing, right? He was absolutely exceptional today.
Unbelievable, yeah.
I can't put we've been saying all week the front three aren't connecting. The front three aren't good, right? Son's getting no service, this and that. Today, the front three, that's their best performance collectively as an attacking unit for us so far.
100%.
We should have had another 4 goals. Johnson has got the confidence to take a shot outside the box, hits the post. We were saying, have a crack. It's what he did today. That is what I want to see.
Hit the post twice, mate. Hits the post twice. I remember speaking about him before the summer, or before he signed for us. I was like, the one great thing about this guy is that when he shoots, he knows how to find the side of the net. Today he was slightly off, right? He was an inch too far to the left on both occasions. He hits the post twice. But this guy knows how to hit the ball towards the right area of the pitch. He doesn't fight. His shots don't usually get saved because he knows how to find the angles.
And it's venom. It's the venom he hits. It's never a side 100%. Foot. It's always a lace. It's kind of like what Jamie Vardy used to do. The ball would come onto him. He's not going to guide that in the corner. He's going to smash that and then go and drink his red wine and his Red Bull on the way out of the stadium. It was that was the way he was. That's what Brennan Johnson is like. I mean, today,
is there an argument, right? Like we have seen, we can't deny, we've seen him puffing, right? We've seen him exhausted against Wolves. We saw him shattered at periods. I think it was in the Aston Villa game, and but today he was on the right hand side, and the same in West Ham, right? He had moments in both. I forget which it was, Aston Villa or West Ham. He carried on for 90 minutes. But my point is that is there an argument now in the first half, you have Sonny today on the left-hand side, and you have Decky hanging off the left-hand side as well. Even though he's playing in the 10, he was trying to sit there and kind of communicate with Sonny. A lot of the action was down the left-hand side. Was that a deliberate ploy to utilize Brennan Johnson a little bit less in the first half?
So he's got the energy for the second half.
Overwhelming him so that he has a bit more energy in the second half, do you think?
Yeah, there's probably some truth in that, to be honest. I mean, he almost looks like when he's on the left, he just doesn't. It's like he doesn't want to be there, mate. It's like,
or he doesn't understand how to work that.
Today, he got the ball and he's like putting balls in the box, running at players. That's what you want to see from a winger. You want to see them be an absolute. I'm not going to swear because we'll get that.
I know what you mean.
Demonetized, but you want to see him be a handful. Yeah, and that's what he was today. Like.
Do you think there's a chemistry building between him and Pedro Porro?
Yeah, I was literally just about to mention that those two look like there's a relationship building, kind of like what we used to have with Danny Rose and Son, with Eriksen and Kane, with Dembele and Wanyama, with Walker and Rose, Vertonghen and Alderweireld. There's relationship building there. There's also a relationship building between Sarr and Bissouma. When one goes, the other one stays. They're never both really going up there. They kind of get each other. And that's what you saw today with Johnson and Porro. Pedro Porro, by the way, like, forget everyone that's going to be coming in the comments or on Twitter saying, look at his poor positioning for Newcastle's first attack. You said it on my fan cam. That's what you're going to get with Ange Ball. You can't have it all your own way. You can't be filthy.
You can't be everywhere. You can't be the dog and the nuts at the same time. You
can't be filthy rich and not have a lot of responsibilities. That there's always a catch, and yes, it will catch us out. But when it works, and you put the ball in for Richarlison, and you put the ball in for someone in his penalty, it was absolutely ridiculous today. Him and Udogie, for me, is the best fullback pairing in the Premier League.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think that's crazy to say. Robertson, obviously, when he's back fit, and Trent, most people would say those because they've been there, seen it, done it. They've won Prems, they've won Champions Leagues, they've won all trophies. But this is they've only played 15 games, not even 15 games together because Udogie's, been suspended. They've played probably 13 games together as a fullback pairing. And they're absolutely unreal. They're absolutely unreal as a fullback pairing.
I agree, mate. I mean, they were
you've got everything.
instrumental in Udogie's goal, right? It was Pedro Porro that looked up and drove that ball across. It was hit with the laces from Porro's side into Udogie's feet. Udogie finds Sonny. Sonny takes the man on down the left hand side, and then gets the ball back to Udogie to go 1-0 up. Mate, I've got a few players I want to ask you about specifically today. Sonny on the left hand side. World-class performance today. Like, I know people argue, was he ever, whatever, but on the left-hand side, we haven't seen him out there for a while. What was your take on him? He was driving at players the way that we haven't had a left winger in this system do, and Ange ball is all about wingers driving to the byline, getting them in. Perisic was wonderful in the first 4 or 5 games. His injury has been largely responsible in my mind. No one talks about it, but his injury has absolutely killed our ability to do that.
Crossing the football as well. He's his best crosser at the club.
Right. Sonny comes out on the left-hand side today, does exactly what he's supposed to do, exactly what this system says on the tin. You get at people like Kieran Trippier. And let's be honest, Brian Hill against Kyle Walker, men versus boys. Sonny against the best right back. If not Kyle Walker, you can make the argument that the best right back in the Premier League is Kieran Trippier. Sonny he had him on toast. You've already made the point. He wake up tomorrow morning and be at the end of his bed. Is Sonny's best
wishing he played for Tottenham again? Because that's
what I was going to ask you. So does Sonny deserve to be on the left against Forest?
I'm going to say it now. I think he has to, because we saw someone who wanted to put the ball in the back of the net tonight, and that was Richarlison through the middle. If you put Son through the middle, who plays on the left? Brian Hill. Not for me. You're fantastic on the ball, excellent dribbler, but the end product, the final ball, is not to the level of Heung-min Son. If Heung-min Son doesn't play on the left today, who puts those balls in the box? Because Brian Hill doesn't find both of those passes. Brian Hill doesn't get past Trippier. Correct. And Richarlison, it looked tonight like he's got a point to prove. His first start back from injury, great. I felt hard for him. I wanted to keep him on for a hat-trick. If he would have got a hat-trick tonight, the shirt would have come off. Brian Barkley's Premier League knee sliding into the crowd, jumping in. Everyone's going mad.
I mean, there would have been tears.
I would have been going ballistic. I would have had my shirt off and my man boobs out, going ballistic and all. Like, I thought today he was brilliant, Richarlison, and that's the front three you play against Forest. Obviously, the spotlight will probably be on Brendan Johnson playing against his old club, but Son's got to play on the left.
Okay,
he has to.
Is that a permanent thing?
I'd try it against. If he does well against Forest again, I'd be like, yeah. And if Richarlison and Son both put in a similar performance tonight against Forest, then I'd put Son back on the left for 5 or 6 games. Obviously, if Richarlison starts scoring goals, everyone's going to be like, we don't need a striker. We still do need more firepower.
Yeah. That's what I'm worried about.
We need another winger.
Yeah.
But at the moment, you can't really fault Richarlison or Son. Son gets 3 goal contributions. Richarlison gets 2. We come away with a 4-1 scoreline. Like, apart from the goal, and you could say the Romero challenge, I thought today was a very, very good performance.
Well, I want to talk about that quickly because it's all been, sort of fluffy clouds and rainbows in the review.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you a little bit about. Well, I want to give you a moment to talk about Ben Davies, and I want to give you a moment to talk about Romero, the centre back partnership. We talked about the wing backs, who I thought were fantastic, but. Let me know your thoughts on Ben Davies, but also let me know your thoughts on Christian Romero.
Yeah, Ben Davies today. I mean, we've got to respect this guy now. Like, he's I don't know how he's 32, 33, something like that. Been in and out of Tottenham's team for 10 years now. Never really moaned for not getting as much first team football. Best performance of the season was against Wolves. Today, he's followed that up with an even better performance. He was absolutely unreal. You know, you really went into detail. The first attack Newcastle had, he gets his right shin to it, I believe.
His toe. I think it's his toe.
Oh, his toe, sorry. And it bounces onto Isak, goes out for a corner. Goes out for a goal kick, sorry. If he doesn't get that toe to that, Newcastle go 1-0 up. The crowd would have then got frustrated because you're thinking, oh, here we go. Six
Eddie Howe then sits the team back deeper.
He sits the team back. We can't break down the low block. That toe to the ball is as good as a goal. You like in my book. I thought not only that, because I know that's the big point of his performance, but he played it out from the back really well. The way he was passing it out to you, Doggy. I think for Porro's assist to Richarlison, I believe it was I think it was Davis who passed it to Sarah Basuma, who started the attack. Like, I think today was an absolute.
It was great in the air
9
defensively
out of
as
10
well,
performance
mate.
from Davis tonight. Obviously, if we had a clean sheet, you would have given him a 10, but which is a bit disappointing at the end, because I think we've only had 4 clean sheets all season. But
I'm not sure he was responsible for the goal, but
no, he
what I
wasn't.
would
He
say-
wasn't. But as a defender, that's your bread and butter, isn't it? A clean sheet. But I thought it was miles. I thought it was miles better than anything we've had from Davis in a long, long, long time. Probably his best performance in 5 years. It was
just
brilliant.
feels to me a little bit like after the West Ham game, Ange has gone in and absolutely
Crucified him.
crucified the team in a way that created a reaction from everybody. And Ben Davies, for me, I thought most people aren't going to sit there and talk too much about him. They're going to focus on the likes of Sonny and Richarlison and Brennan Johnson and Porro. I think he needs a shout out and well done for doing it. Romero also put in a great shift. Let's be honest. He put in a great shift defensively. I thought he did really well. But however, there were some moments that could have cost us in not just maybe the moment, but over the next 2 or 3 games, had a decision or two gone a different way. Talk to me about Romero, mate.
He's kind of like, you love him when he's at his best, but you hate it when he makes a mistake, because his mistakes aren't like a yellow card. We're talking, no player's been carded more than him since he come into the Premier League.
Is that right? Is that true? Is that a fact?
Yeah. He's had 4 red cards since he joined the Premier League. He averages a red card every 18 games. That is not an impressive stat. And today he could have been. He could have had a red card. On another day, the Premier League officiating is so inconsistent that could have been a red card.
Even if it wasn't, even if the stat, like the kind of the late tackle that got him a yellow wasn't, he got away with one in the first half, didn't he?
Mate, I'll be honest. I don't know another team, really, really good team, other than the likes of Pepe at Madrid and Ramos at Madrid and the likes of Yat Stam. But recently, the last 5 years, that has a player that's so good, but so much of a loose cannon.
Mm-hmm.
I worry that at times if someone gets...
Who was the frizzy-haired fella who played for Chelsea and Arsenal? Louise, was it? What's his name?
He was reckless, but not to the point of where we're talking about a red card every 18 games. He was more making defensive mistakes. Not Romero. He can't go into a tackle, win it, and come away with the ball and like do the Rolls Royce kind of like Van Dijk stuff. Maldini. He smashes you up in the air, and that's
unnecessary at times. I thought he played well today, but
his performance overall got a red card today.
He could have got a double yellow, and then we're missing him for Forest.
And then you're talking, we're going up against Forest with if he gets a straight red for that yellow card, we miss him against Bournemouth, who are flying. Everton won again today. 6 goals in their last 2 games against Chelsea and Newcastle and Brighton. Without Romero, you sit there and go, it's going to be tough for us.
We're back to the same.
And he's 1 yellow card away from a suspension, and he's going to get booked in the next 3.
100%.
So,
so is you, Doggy, by the way. So is you, Doggy.
I mean, it's
not ideal, mate. Not ideal. But let's not sort of harbour too much. I think it's just necessary to call it out a little bit that he needs to.
I agree.
Calm it down, right? But today's a day to celebrate a good performance and
get back to
the last thing I want to ask you, mate, is I think we've gone through most of the team. What's the momentum for you right now? We've got Forest next on Friday night. Do you feel more confident we got in 3 points there, or do you think that's going to be a really tough game? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think we'll beat Nottingham Forest. Based off tonight, the crowd will be not the crowd. The fan base will be okay. That's the level of performance we needed, because we would have won the 2-1 tonight or 1-0. I wouldn't feel confident going into Forest. The fact that we battered Newcastle for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
We're going to be like...
rival.
Yeah, like I said on my fan cam, a top 4 rival. I don't see another team battling, smashing another. Newcastle beat United 1-0. We battered them 4-1. You know,
Yeah.
I don't see at the moment why we don't go in and put a similar level of performance. If everyone kind of does similar jobs that they did today against Forest, we go and win that game 2 or 3-0.
Are we
And
rivaling, just quickly, are we rivaling, should we be more worried about Manchester United, Newcastle, and Brighton's results, or should we be more worried about Aston Villa, Manchester City, Liverpool, and Arsenal's results?
never look back, always look in front.
Love it. Love it.
Don't never look about who could overtake you. Always look like what's ahead of you.
Henry, mate, love it, buddy. We got to spend a lot more time together. 9 o'clock tonight, guys. We're going to be on this channel, Spurs Talk Show, for Tottenham Takes with the rest of the boys. I think Dave, Deji, and George. But Henry, where can everyone find you, mate? Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, just I'm basically part of the furniture in your channel, Henry Wright TV. Make sure you get over there, show that guy some love, and yeah, thanks for having me on, mate. Appreciate it.
Well done, buddy. All right, guys, like, subscribe, and comment. We'll see you later on tonight, and we'll see you all week on both of our channels. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on,
Come on, you Spurs.